welcome back to another episode of Resin of the Living Dead. Today we are going to be working on a set of these three wine corks. So we have these molds, and thank you, Patti, for sending them. So we are going to be making 3 of the 5 that it came with. So we're going to just give it a try with 3. Kind of looking for ones that are, a couple of them are a little bit rounded, but I think it's going to be okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to use these nail dips. There's this one that's like a yellowish color. There's this one that is a kind of a metallic purplish color, and then this one is kind of a blue. And I take that back with the yellow. We're going to use this red. And what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of the powders into the Dixie cups with some alcohol to melt them down so that there's no chunks. We will add a little bit of glue to each of them so that it thickens up and doesn't mix together. In the larger cup, what we're going to do is mix about a couple ounces of clear, but we are going to also use glue and some glitter. So the idea is that we should get a glassy swirl effect, but ultimately have the glitter in the clear portions to sparkle through, and then the solid colors, which will be kind of transparent, and because the last time we used it, it came out very clear. It'll just be a tinted color, almost like a colored glass. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of our powders into the cups. We're going to get our resin ready, and then we will be right back to combine them and see how it goes as we start. See you in a moment. So we've gone ahead and mixed up our resin. We did about 9 ounces total. We're going to now go ahead and put the isopropyl alcohol into our cups that has our nail our nail powders, and that's going to cause it to dissolve into a clear. So we're going to put some in there, and some in there, and some in there, and what we're going to do is just give them a swirl until everything is nice and dissolved and there's no more piles of powder in there. The purplish one's more like a plum, which is nice. It looks cool. We'll see what happens. All right, and the blue, and you'll see once we add these to the resin. Okay, so those are all nicely mixed. So I think what we're going to do is grab a couple more of the Dixie cups. And let's get 4 Dixie cups for the moment. 3 for the colors and 1 for the clear. So what we're going to do is pour some resin into each cup. We'll do about half full. I have a feeling we're going to have a lot more resin than we need, but that's okay. And then with the last one, we're going to do a little bit more than what we did for the others, because we want to make that one the one with the glitter and clear. We'll set that cup back. So let's get our popsicle stick, and we'll start over here with the blue, and we're going to just pour it all right in, and then we're going to just gently stir it. And then we're going to give it just a drop of glue. residual from last time off. So we're just going to do one drop. Oh, that was a very generous drop. All right, we'll let that one sit. Now with the next one, we'll do the plum. And a drop of glue. Let's start first. And then a drop of glue in there. And while we're letting these while we're mixing this one, those other ones are going to set a little bit, heat up a little bit, help us dissipate some of the bubbles before we pour them in. Okay. And finally the red. Give it a stir. And then we'll give it a drop of glue. All right. And then finally, with our clear, we're going to put some of the glitter. And then some glue. We're going to do the glue at the same time because the glitter is going to stick. Okay, so we are going to begin, and we'll start with this narrow barrel shaped one, and I think it is cleared out. So with that one, we're going to go ahead and we'll do the blue. And let me go ahead and get this popsicle stick out, because what we're going to try to do here is we're going to pinch off the cup and then put it down in there. So we're just going to get another cup to use for our sticks and our clear. Let's get that stick out. And you can see how, hopefully on the video, you can see how sticky it is already. So what we're going to do is just kind of pour them together. Let's do this. We'll zoom in a little bit. There we go. All right, here we go. And the blue is definitely pouring faster. And yeah, we're going to have a lot more than we needed, but that's okay. All right, that looks That looks good. We're going to move that one to the side a minute. It is domed up, but that should be okay. Now we'll do the reddish color, and we're going to try to do the exact same process. We're going to pinch off the cup, and then we're just going to slowly pour them together. And hope that we're over the try not to get the red into the, give it a little tap. Whoa, and almost knocked over the blue. But you know what I think I want to do? I think I want to scrape a little bit of that off the top. It actually isn't really above very much, so that's fine. And we'll add a little bit of clear to this one. Okay, and we'll give them a little shot with the heat, with a squirt with the isopropyl alcohol, and then we got our other one, our diamond kind of shaped one. And I think we have 2 more molds, and I think we have enough that we may end up using one of those molds and just mix the 3 colors together. So here we go with the third one. Make sure you can see. Perfect. Let's go ahead and do a round one. And for this one, I think we're going to do the red and blue. And we just poured it outside the mold. We can get that picked up in a moment. So let's move this guy over here a minute and clean up our mess. And I think what we're going to do is we are going to take the, where's our dog mold? We haven't done any. We've been doing a lot of the cats, so we'll do some dogs. Make sure that the something in that one, but we'll use the other ones instead. So let me go ahead and get a popsicle stick, and we'll zoom out a little bit. What we're going to do is we're going to scoop up this. And this is why you always have a silicone mat in your working space. So let's go ahead and mix some of these remaining colors. And the good thing about these Dixie cups is we can fold them up and squeeze them in. Still have a little bit of the red. Pour that in there. Okay, and we have a lot of the clear, so we'll pour into the heart with the rest of, with that little tiny drop of red that was in there. And then let's pour the rest of that one into the bear. Especially not if we're trying to not overflow, which we almost did. And then we'll do a little bit into this other dog. We've been using our excess to make these dog puzzle pieces because they truly are mix and match. So when we put them together, you can choose any kind of color combination that you want, which is kind of neat. You know, you're not stuck with just one color. You can kind of make it however you want. You can see how quick that hardened up. And we still have a chunk of clear. So let's take our, let's move this bear back over here, and we'll move these cups into our garbage, this cup into our garbage, and for the remaining clear, let's go ahead and grab one more Dixie cup. And one more of these dips. So let's find something that looks a little unique as far as color. So there's like this metallic blue. What we're going to do is we're going to put that in there. We'll add some alcohol. And then we're going to add it in there, and we'll use it in our octopus mold. It's not going to fill it, but that's okay. You can see it really dissolved in. Grab a popsicle stick, give it a stir. We will not be using any glue in this one. You can see the bubbles rising up to the top. I hope you can see the bubbles rising to the top, and they are popping almost instantly. So we're going to take this octopus mold here, and we're going to just, well, let's not do that. We'll get that everywhere. So let's go ahead and just pour it real slow into each of the tentacles and allow it to just run its way down. And we're pouring this real slow to try to get it to go around the outer part, because it'll stay, hopefully stay I hope that you can see this. And I actually think we're almost having enough to fill this. We might want to make another little tiny bit to finish it off. That was good. I didn't think we had enough, but it looks like we did, and then some. Wow, I'm impressed. Didn't know I made that enough for all that. All right, well, we're just gonna pour the rest of it into one of these dogs. We'll finish that one off later. All right, so with our isopropyl alcohol spray, we're going to give each of these a little spray, and then we are going to go over it once with our torch just to pop any of the bubbles that have gotten to the top. We are not going to use a heating pad on this because whoa. Well, we definitely don't want to have a fire. We will sand down those bubbles as they go, but they should pop. Okay, so we are going to let this sit overnight, and in 24 hours we will come back to demold, and then we will be attaching the tops of the wine stoppers to the posts using, we're going to use UV resin to lock one down, see how it goes, and then we'll do the other ones, and we'll demold everything, and we will see you in 24 hours. Okay, we have one more step before we can do demold, and what we are going to do now is attach the metal stopper portion to the resin. So what we've done was we mixed up just a little tiny bit of 2-part because we don't really need a lot at all. We're just going to drip it from the stick. Actually, we're just going to give it a little drop. So we're going to do the one in the back first. We're just going to put a little tiny bit of clear. Use our stick. We're going to swirl it around a little bit. And now we're going to take our part. You'll see that the mold is a little misshapen, so we should be able to get it in there. You'll see it's pushing. Yeah, I think it's going to be difficult to get this one in. Push it down a little bit. It is definitely, I think because the mold is actually warped a little bit, it just doesn't want to sit in that one. All right, well let's try try this one. Actually, I think we're going to do a change of plans. We'll be right back. Okay, so the change of plan is, since these molds are a little bit misshapen, they're not exactly circular, we're going to use the UV resin from Amazon and our blacklight and see if we can lock one in that way. All right, so I got a little bit in there. So we put a little bit in there and set the stopper down straight. And now we're just going to go around for a while and let that solidify. And I think what we're going to end up doing is we're going to open up our window so that the sun can come in during the day and allow that to kind of finish the job. Okay, one down. Okay, for number 2. Okay, that's number 2. Moving on to number 3, and number 3, this one has a little bit of this is a hexagon bottom. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to put the resin, the UV on the self, line it up, that, a little crooked, but we'll fix that as we hold it. And then we're going to hit it with our UV light. If I'm looking at these molds, it does look like the clear with the glitter sunk to the bottoms, more so than just the colored resin. But we shall see when we get home. Looks good. And one more. And then with this one, we just got to make sure we hold it straight because that mold is really oblong at the top, and it's going to try to push it out. The good thing is this is a high-powered blacklight. I use it when I look for uranium glass, so it is going to, it should solidify it pretty quick. Excuse me. So like I said, I think what we're going to do is we're either going to open up this window or put them in our kitchen window to allow them to take advantage of the sun and allow that UV resin to cure up even better prior to our demold. Looks like they're holding in there pretty good. But again, in looking at the molds, it does look like the clear has sunk to the bottom on all of them. But we shall see when we come back to take them all out. The extra clear we put into our dogs and cat puzzles. All right, so we will be back for demold. See you then. All right, let's demold. Actually, that's a little soft. That's still soft. Let's see. I think these are okay. All right. So let's see how these they are certainly tight. Oh, it came off. All right, we're gonna have to get some glue. All right, before we undo any more, let's go grab some glue, because like you see, they're not staying on, so we're gonna need to wipe them down and then start over with some Gorilla Glue to put them on. So we'll grab the glue, be right back. We have grabbed our super glue, and what we're going to do is we tried on this one, and you'll see it's going to stick and it's going to be fine. So we're going to excuse me, we're going to pop the other ones off. Make sure you can still see that. And so what we're going to do is we're going to pop these other ones out, and then we're going to use our sanding paper just to get a little bit more of a flat edge. And then from there, we will glue the other pieces on and see how that goes. I will say that as I thought, the colors kind of sunk, so it didn't exactly work out how we wanted them to. But this will go all right. So we're going to just put a little drop of the glue here. And then we'll put the top piece back on. And we'll hold it here for a moment while it hardens. So I think next time we will try something a little bit different, maybe a little bit less in the mold. So there's the red and blue. Not bad, but not exactly what I had hoped for. I'll go ahead and the molds are tight, and I think the problem was that they weren't exactly round, so there was some issue with the shape at the top. So again, the glitter portion sunk, and then the other color stayed at the top. So we're going to go ahead and we got to get all of that clear off. I need to get myself a deburring tool. Maybe my next Amazon order. And we'll add our glue. Good thing about that one is it is flat at the top, so that will just sit for a moment. Then our last one. Then we'll be able to take the octopus out and see how the other ones are doing, if they're cured enough to pop out of their molds on the puzzle pieces. So they are all free from their molds. They are all sanded down and glued on. Let's move this over and get this cleaned up. All right, let's see. That's still soft. We're not going to take that heart piece out. Let's check these out. Ugh. Okay. Let me grab some acetone and clean off my finger. So they are clearly not cured. Clean up my hands real quick because I got a little bit of that resin. So we're not going to take these out either. We're going to let them sit for a while. Let's check out the octopus. Yeah, I think resin just didn't quite cure in a day. We'll definitely have to try these again down the line, but let's take a look at the octopus. He feels still a little soft. We might be able to get him out, and then we'll pop him in the refrigerator and see how that goes. So let's just see. One thing I tried one time was doing it like this, upside down, getting all the tentacles out. And the one thing we didn't do with this one is we did not place any eyes in it prior. So I think if this looks nice, we will try this again, but make sure that we put our little glass eyes in there. I don't know if the glue with that powder caused it to not really cure well, but it is definitely different from the last time we did this mold. So, appreciate your patience while I'm trying to get this dude out of here. He is out. Not quite as clear as I thought it was going to be, but you can see it did come out really nice. I don't see any bubbles. A couple pieces like right here, just got to clean that guy up. The tentacles all came out nicely. It came out pretty cool. So we're going to let these sit for a moment, and then we'll make a video of them for you to see the finished product. Again, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, hit that like button. And if you want to be notified when future videos are released, hit that subscribe button. Thanks, and I will see you on the next one.